Oh, will we enjoy the weather though? Ruth is here. I'm not sure because there's a named storm brewing, is that right?
Yeah, there is indeed, and quite an unusual name given that we, the great British public, pick the names and it's usually friends or family or someone notable. This time though it is Storm Eowyn, and I asked you earlier, prizes for guessing. No prizes, but it comes actually from Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, so someone clearly thought that was going to be a really good idea. It's quite memorable, although difficult to pronounce. And at the moment Eowyn is out in the Atlantic and is heading in our direction. Currently looks like a swirling mess of low pressure effectively, but will be working its way in our direction. And you can see it's making a steady journey once today's wet weather has cleared to the corner of your screen. So it's going to turn very, very unsettled. And the Met Office has issued a number of weather warnings. So if we spool through, you can see that the whole of Wales is covered by 2 warnings that run effectively for much of Friday. Coastal areas could well see gusts of 60 to 70 miles an hour, 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts over the hills and mountains. So enough to cause a little bit of disruption, not pleasant by any means, with some weather to come first. So I know there are headlines like weather bomb, that just means a deepening area of low pressure quite quickly, but here in Wales we should escape the worst of it. I think Scotland is really going to bear the brunt of it with really strong winds and heavy rain. So a bit of a ride, but there we go.
Thank you for the warnings nonetheless, Ruth.
Absolutely. Well, across central and southern parts of Wales, it's largely dry out there at the moment, but we've got this band of rain that's really plagued northern areas over the last, day or so, which over the next few hours will start to edge its way southwards and eastwards, fragmenting as it goes. So we're talking about drizzly bits and pieces of rain, particularly where the cloud is thick enough overnight tonight. And there'll certainly be plenty of that cloud. Lots of low cloud, misty, murky conditions too, with temperatures dropping to lows of around 2 or 3 degrees, perhaps something slightly less cold out towards coastal areas, but it should be a largely frost-free night across Wales tonight. Dry as we wake then to tomorrow morning. Again, lots of that low cloud making for quite a gloomy start to the day. And we'll see further showers starting to sink their way pushing into western areas. Nothing too heavy, just damp and drizzly conditions with some dry spells and actually the odd spot of sunshine thrown in for good measure too. Like today, temperatures still feeling quite chilly for the time of year, highs of 7, maybe squeezing an 8 in Celsius with that gentle breeze. It'll be bitterly cold through Wednesday night, frosty as we wake to Thursday too. And then, as we've been hearing, Storm Eowyn will start to make its presence felt through Thursday. So we could see some really heavy rain, possibly some hail thrown in for good measure too. And those winds will start to pick up the pace as well. But the warnings cover much of Wales for Friday, and this is when we'll see the worst of those strong winds, potentially damaging and disruptive too. Some really nasty conditions, but they will blow out quite quickly. That's the good news. And then by the time we get into the coming weekend, it's going to be unsettled, but it should be slightly less eventful than the end of the week. It's just, well, frankly, that time of the year after all.